She walked into the gym. Quiet. Alone. No one took her seriously. One guy even laughed. Until she stepped onto the mat and did something so unexpected. It silenced the entire room. You'll never guess what happened next. The martial arts gym was alive with energy. Feet hit the mats in rhythm. Students shouted with focus. The sound of discipline filled the air. This wasn't an ordinary gym. It was a place where respect had to be earned. A dojo for the dedicated. No space for the lazy. No shortcuts. At exactly 6 p.m., the door opened. She walked in. Quiet. Alone. Wearing a plain burnt orange t-shirt and workout pants. No uniform. No belt. No sparring gear. Just a simple gym bag and serious eyes. Cut to instructors glancing at her. Some instructors looked her way, then looked away. Uninterested. One student smirked. Another newbie, he whispered. She won't last a week. But she wasn't here to impress. She walked to the corner, removed her shoes, bowed to the mat, and started to stretch. At first, no one noticed, but if they had watched closely, they would have seen the signs. Her stretches were precise, her movements fluid, her breathing controlled. This was no amateur. Switched to assistant instructor walking over. Trying a class, an assistant asked. She nodded. Yes. All right. Beginners are over there. He pointed. She didn't argue. She joined the beginners. Blended in. Stayed silent. But her technique? Different. When they jabbed, she jabbed sharper. When they kicked, her form was cleaner. Her stance was grounded, balanced. Still, no one really paid attention. Switched to another training day. She returned the next day. And the next. Always on time. Always focused. Same corner. Same silence. And yet she picked up every move fast. Too fast. Most thought she was lucky. Or maybe just flexible. Some said, she probably does yoga. No way she's a fighter. But one person noticed. Sensei Logan. Cut to him watching her kick. During a kick drill, he paused. Watched closely. Her roundhouse kick sliced the air. Perfect height. Perfect control. He didn't say anything. Just walked on. A storm was quietly building. She wasn't here to prove herself. She wasn't showing off. But soon, everyone would know who she really was. 3 days had passed. Aaliyah kept showing up. Same time. Same corner. Same silence. She trained without flash. No loud grunts. No attention-seeking. Just clean technique. Steady improvement. She blended in so well, most people still thought she was a beginner. But something was coming, and no one saw it. Shift music slightly. Build light tension. On the 4th day, Sensei Logan stepped to the center of the mat. His voice echoed through the gym. All right, everyone. Let's have a sparring round. Heads turned. Students paused mid-punch. Sparring wasn't for everyone. It was different from drills. Unscripted. Real. You all know the rules, Logan said. Light contact. Control. Awareness. Volunteers. A few hands went up. Mostly advanced students, guys used to the spotlight. One of them was Jake. Tall. Muscular. Wearing a black headband and a cocky smile. He was one of the gym's favorites, strong, fast, confident. Maybe too confident. Then a hand rose from the back. Aaliyah. The gym went still for a second. Then came the laughter. Jake turned around. His grin widened. You serious? He said, half laughing. She nodded once. Calm. Unbothered. Jake looked at Logan. Come on, man. I don't want to hurt her. The room chuckled. Not maliciously, but arrogantly. No one thought she stood a chance. Sensei Logan looked at Aaliyah. You sure? Yes. Her voice was clear. Confident. Steady. All right, Logan said. Let's see what you've got. Music shifts. tension rising. They stepped onto the mat. Jake bounced on his feet, relaxed. Aaliyah stood still, calm, focused. Someone whispered, "This won't take long." Jake raised his fists. He threw a light jab. Aaliyah dodged it, effortlessly. He threw another. She blocked. Third strike, she deflected and stepped in. And then, she swept his leg. In one clean, fluid move. Jake hit the mat. The room gasped. Jake blinked, surprised. He smiled awkwardly and got up. "Okay, lucky shot." Cut to second round, faster music beat begins. He came at her again, this time faster. He spun, kicked, jabbed. But Aaliyah? She moved like water. Every strike he threw, she read it. Every kick dodged. Every punch countered. Then it happened again. She stepped aside, spun behind him, and took him down clean. The second fall hit harder. Jake looked stunned. This time no one laughed. The entire gym went silent. Even Logan stopped coaching the others. Everyone was watching now. Jake stood again, breathing heavier. No more jokes. No more smiles. He came in strong. He swung. She ducked. He kicked. She sidestepped. She returned fire. 2 strikes, a feint, and a perfect takedown. Jake hit the mat for the third time. Silence. Total silence. Music fades slightly. Ambient gym sound returns. Stunned background. Jake lay there for a moment, then slowly sat up. He looked up at her. Not with anger. Not with shame. But with respect. He stood. Offered his hand. She took it. No ego. No grin. Just grace. "Where did you learn that?" he asked, still breathing hard. Aaliyah answered with a small smile. "I've been training." Just in silence. Jake stood there, panting. His face was red, not from embarrassment, but from realizing she was better than him. The crowd around the mat was still frozen. Some had stopped training completely. A few students slowly pulled off their gloves, watching in disbelief. They'd never seen Jake lose, let alone lose like this, and definitely not to someone they all thought was a beginner. Cut to close-ups, shocked faces, slow blinks, jaws slightly open. Aaliyah didn't celebrate. She didn't smirk. She simply bowed. It was a gesture of respect, but somehow it made the moment even more powerful. Jake wiped his forehead with the back of his hand. He chuckled, shaking his head. "Okay," he muttered, mostly to himself. "You're serious." He approached her again, this time slower. "Where did you train?" he asked. She looked him in the eye. "Calm. I've trained for a while," she said. "Just never had a reason to show it." Sensei Logan, watching from the edge of the mat, finally stepped forward. The room was still. All eyes shifted to him. "You moved like someone who's been doing this for years," he said. Aaliyah nodded slightly. "I have," she replied. That's when the questions started swirling in everyone's heads. Who is she? Where did she come from? Why did she hide it? Cut to soft flashback visuals, blurry montage, past training in a small, dark room. The truth. Aaliyah wasn't new to martial arts. In fact, 5 years ago, she was a rising star in the regional taekwondo scene. She had trophies, medals, recognition. But something happened. Life got heavy. A family emergency forced her to step away. For years, she trained alone. No coaches, no team, no crowd. Just her shadow, and the silence of her garage gym. While others chased followers and fame, she chose isolation. She built her strength in quiet. She didn't post about it, didn't boast. She just kept getting better. Return to present scene. Ambient gym sound returns. And now, here she was. Not to compete, not to prove anything, but to remember who she was. To reconnect with the fighter within. Jake stood beside her. He looked at the other students and nodded. She's the real deal. he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. And just like that, the entire gym dynamic shifted. The girl they ignored, the one they laughed at, had earned everyone's respect without saying a single harsh word. Music rises slowly, proud, emotional tone. The whispers turn to stares. The stares turn to silent nods. Even the students, who hadn't noticed her before, now couldn't look away. No one cared what belt she wore. No one asked about her past. They just knew. She belonged here. And she hadn't even shown her full potential yet. Sensei Logan finally broke the moment with a clap. "All right, back to training," he said. But his eyes stayed on Aaliyah just a second longer. He knew this was no ordinary student. Cut to Aaliyah returning to her corner, tying her hair again, calm face. She walked back to her spot, picked up her water bottle, took a sip, and smiled just a little. Because she hadn't come to shock anyone. She hadn't come to make a statement. But she had, without even trying. The entire gym had been silenced by the one voice that never needed to speak loudly. After the match, most of the gym was still stunned. Some students kept glancing toward the mat, as if unsure what they'd just witnessed. Jake, still catching his breath, walked back toward Aaliyah. This time, there was no arrogance, no smirk, just genuine curiosity and respect. He extended his hand. "You've been doing this for a while, huh?" She smiled slightly and shook his hand. "Yeah," she said, "but it's been a long time since I sparred anyone." Jake tilted his head. "Well, you still got it. No doubt about that." A few other students gathered near, waiting, watching, wanting to know more. Sensei Logan approached next. His eyes, always sharp, were now a little softer. "You didn't say you had experience," he said. "I didn't think it mattered," Aaliyah replied. "I came here to train, not to talk." Logan nodded slowly. "Fair enough," he said, "but I've seen black belts who don't move like that." Aaliyah looked down. For a moment she was quiet. Then she said, "There was a time when this was my whole life." Music shifts, flashback sequence begins. She paused, as if opening a door to a room she hadn't visited in years. "I started martial arts when I was 11, she said softly. "My mom enrolled me after I got bullied at school. At first, she hated it. The soreness, the drills, the repetition. But over time, it became her safe place. Her way to grow, to protect herself, to transform. By 16, she was entering tournaments. By 17, she had gold medals hanging in her bedroom. She was fast, precise, disciplined. But then everything stopped. My dad got sick," she said. "Really sick. I dropped everything to take care of him." She didn't say it with sadness, just truth. After that, I couldn't get back into it. Not with the same energy. Not with the same heart. Years passed. Friends moved on. The medals gathered dust. The GI stayed folded in the back of her closet. But I kept training, she said. Not for competition. Just for me. Cut to imagine flashbacks. Training alone in a garage. Slow motion strikes under dim lighting. She trained in the dark. With no coach. No crowd. No applause. Just her breath. Her movement. And silence. I wanted to come here to see if I still had it. To see if I was still me. Return to present. Soft ambient music. Now the gym was completely quiet. Not because of shock, but because of understanding. No one expected that story. No one imagined this quiet girl had lived through that. A girl who once stood on podiums. Who gave it all up for her family. Who walked back in with no expectations. No ego. No drama. Just heart. Sensei Logan finally spoke. "I've seen a lot of fighters in my time," he said, "but very few carry this kind of discipline and humility." Aaliyah looked at him. She didn't say anything. She didn't need to. He continued, "If you're willing, We'd be honored to have you here, as more than just a student. That was the moment she was seen, not just for what she could do, but for what she'd survived, for what she still carried. Jake turned and said, "You didn't come to prove anything, but you just taught all of us something." She smiled again, genuine, relieved, grateful. The next day, Aaliyah arrived at the gym right on time. Same simple outfit, same quiet walk through the door. But everything had changed. This time, heads turned, eyes followed her, and when she entered, no one looked past her. Jake was already there, warming up. As soon as he saw her, he nodded with a smile. Not the cocky smile from before, but one filled with respect. He walked over, towel in hand. "Hey," he said, "glad you came back." She gave a small smile. "Of course. I said I was here to train." "Good," he replied, "because we could use someone like you." Cut to Sensei Logan approaching. Sensei Logan entered from the back. He clapped once, calling the class to order. "Before we begin today," he said, "I want to acknowledge something." Everyone turned to listen. He looked at Aaliyah. "Yesterday, you all witnessed something important. Not just a good match, not just skill, but humility, dedication, and quiet strength."
Respect isn't given. It's earned through silence, effort, and character. She didn't come to make noise. She came to be heard, without speaking a word. She didn't walk in looking for fame. She didn't ask for attention. She didn't speak loudly. But she made the whole room listen. In a world full of noise, she chose silence. And through that silence, she proved everything. Because true strength isn't loud. It's calm. It's focused. It's humble. She didn't just defeat her opponent. She changed the way they saw her. The way they saw themselves. And maybe, she reminded us all that the quietest person in the room might be the one with the loudest story.
It's Visionary Step 09. Don't forget to like and subscribe our video. Subscribe us for such as interesting videos. Thank you so much.